No, that's. Okay. Yeah.
We're live. All right, this is a regular meeting of the Board of Public Utilities, February the 16th, 2023 at 4:30. Call the meeting to order. And ask for the approval of the minutes of the January 19th, 23 regular meeting. Do I have a motion or amendment?
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion by Barry,
Second.
second by Steve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, by like sign. Minutes are approved. Okay, I was looking at the financial statements earlier. We'll start with the trial balance report. You note there, the cash in the available cash had dropped from 700 and from around 900,000 at the first of the year down to 793 at the end of January. That's about 110 drop, but we've had several things that we've funded. One being the bridge at the Gilbertsville Highway project has been funded, but we will when we get all the grant money and everything in, that'll be reimbursed and bring that back up. And then on the loan reserve there for 240,000, Glenda's been putting aside we've still got the money, but she's putting it in an account separate for payment of the
Wastewater treatment.
wastewater treatment plant loan. So
Yeah,
get ahead, they will be paying on that.
you see, well, making that payment.
Looking at the water budget tracking report, I was looking at that. The revenues are up. They're 946 against the budget of 886. Total revenues is at 980, up from budgeted 917. Expenses are at 946 against the budgeted 835. And the line item 08007110220 maintenance and repairs to the system. That's at 288,000 versus 116. So that's pretty much where the overrun of the budget was. Tim, you may correct me with what I'm saying, but I think that's a result of the manpower issues we've had with changes in people and
Yes.
getting everything up. So we've had to go outside to reveal and some of those
Because I did that
Outside
analysis a few months ago, and that's what we should.
Right.
showing.
A lot of that was on the meter change out.
Yeah.
We had to seek outside help.
So all in all, we're still doing very good. The water financial and the sewer budget and tracking is also tracking ahead of budget. Revenues at 398 against 346. Expenditures, repairs there is 503 against the budgeted 553. So we're about 100,000 right now better than budgeted for this same period of time. So revenues and all is holding for us. So
The town, those revenues should include, they include the 4.77 increase.
Right.
Plus, it should include that extra that you talked about with the ice,
Right.
because you said we should see that water revenue being up.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I mean, on my MOR, I think I was up, I was up probably. I know I was up over 10 million on pumpage for the month.
just for that.
Right.
and Relative to that 1 week.
Right.
Of ice and
Right.
cold and people running more water and trying to keep everything going, so. Okay, very good there. What I wanted to do tonight was pick up on where we were at the last meeting with those, all those items on the grants listed at the grants. And I know Tim and Chad have done some work on that. And
Do we need that, Tim? Do we need that to look at? Does everybody need that? Do you have yours?
Yeah.
I thought I have. I didn't bring it.
We're still working on it. We are working on it and we're still working on it. We did notice that there was one project on there and Chad and I both contacted the pad office on it and they're working on how we're gonna proceed with it.
What-
The
do you have a reference number on that one?
just a second and I'll give it to you. It was yes, it was on a the SX,
So sewer.
right?
Yeah.
The item number is 211-57-007. Okay, that number is in our name and the applicant is in our name according to this sheet, but it's not our project. And that project belongs to City of Benton. So they're gonna have, I can't take it off the books. If I take it off the books, then it takes the City of Benton's project out of the books. So they're correcting it at the pad office. And then that one there will come off of our sheet because it's
Is that the one you said 7003?
7007.
Next to the last one.
Oh,
first
okay, next to
page.
the last page there. I got it right there.
Or
And if
page
you look
one.
over in the project description, you'll see that that's
Main Street.
Right,
Popular,
in Benton.
Fifth Avenue, Benton.
right.
Good.
So they're going to, they're making that correction. There's some projects on here, like I said, that we're still working on it. And we may be adding some projects to it.
Yeah, I just see
Have
it
you
as a
got any
gradual
there that
process.
were-
There's some projects on here that are completed,
Which
Right.
ones,
That-
do you know which ones those are?
Yeah. On water projects. There are 1, 2, 3, there's 4 projects on the first sheet,
Yeah,
What's the numbers on those?
015,
WX 211, the very first one.
right,
And that's completed,
that is completed.
you know when? If you don't, that's fine.
South water line extension. I can't think what this, is that the water
It's
line
95.
extension that went,
Between 60.
that would have gone down towards the drive-in?
Right,
Yeah, yep, I remember us doing that.
Yeah, that's been done a long time, so, yeah, okay.
and then the next project would be the 7017, which would be the third one down on your sheet.
Right,
That one has been completed.
there you go. Let's get those babies off and start the process.
Uh,
They don't want those, do they? They don't want
No,
them on there. If we
no,
got them done.
and there's no benefit. That's what I asked Chad. I said,
Well, yeah, no, again, I think, like I say, let's get the ones on. that we know we would do if we had the money.
The next one down would be 7019.
Is Chad gonna approach them? Do we need to do anything else?
I will send them an email
Okay,
to remove those from the list because it has to be somebody from the.
Yeah.
He can't do it. It has to be somebody
yeah,
from Calvert
City
City
of Calvert.
Right, yeah.
to have those removed from the list.
And these are ones I'm recognizing we have loans.
Right.
Yeah. Mhm.
I know I
Uh,
worked with Roger.
well-
in that Heights area phase.
Do we still have loans we're paying off? Do we want to drop them? What if we got the grant for it? We could get reimbursed and pay off the balance of our loans.
I think it's been-
One, is that a permanent ruling or they would go back and some of them have said pending, but this one have said not funding. So
Right.
I don't know how their language works
Yeah,
there.
Where are you seeing that?
They're not funded over in amount. Down if you follow
I see
down
amount.
that, You see that some of them. were
Partially funded,
and
okay.
Some of them were not funded and so does,
So they have given us money for some of those that are completed. Okay.
you know.
mhm.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I don't know if once they refuse to fund it or decide for whatever reason they didn't fund it, does that, I
Right.
don't know that they'll come back or is that the final decision?
Right.
So.
It's a good thought.
I'm not-
I'll find out from Chad before we actually do.
Okay.
And when,
But if
when
they're
we,
completed, if I was on it, I'd have a hard time funding something you'd already done
Right.
and completed on your own.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Right.
So-
you're right,
What's the other one there?
the very bottom one on that sheet, which is 57-033.
Mhm.
That one was fully funded and it's already been done.
Okay, that's the Riverport
That's Riverport.
extension, which comes back there, and that was, yeah, that was put in there with Obama money. That's
Right.
what that was put in,
Really?
with, so, yeah. So that shouldn't be on there either.
On the next sheet, which would have been the 57-036. Okay. Part of that has been. Part of it has been completed. We're
Okay.
going to update that project
Yeah.
Good.
and try to go further with it.
Okay.
We're not gonna pull it out. We're talking about updating it. The,
Would that include that, Johnson subdivision as a part of that update?
no, I
or-
think that's part,
Or is that another?
that's on a different,
Oh,
Yeah, I
that's
saw
another-
Johnson.
that's up on the very top of that sheet.
Okay,
We talked about
Yeah, I
taking
see
that one out, but I think we're just.
Yeah.
We had just updated that one. We're gonna leave it,
I think so, yeah. Mhm.
or I think that's the way we should go.
Yeah.
The. And I questioned this one. The. Water plant relocation. 57-037. I mean, you can see the amount on there of $20,680,000.
Right.
That one, I
I'm
think,
not gonna I really don't think we need to take it out.
no, I'd leave
Oh,
it on.
no.
That one
I
is,
want to fund it.
Right, I mean,
Give us half of it, give us whatever.
right,
that one needs to be left in where right now.
right.
Yeah,
Now, do we have numbers to back up that 20 million? Have we got
Yes.
sitting there? Okay.
yes, we have a bid. You've seen the bid.
Okay.
And I
Yeah.
Well, I
mean,
remember, and then we talked about a lot of other numbers.
it was like,
Well, yeah,
it came in at like 13-14 million.
Yeah.
That was before,
All this
COVID.
inflation.
Yeah,
well, it's,
before COVID,
Right.
now things have shot up.
Right.
and
so I think we would better leave it.
And then it was a question as to whether we was gonna soften or leave it with hard water. and
Right.
Right.
That, so. So we're still working on that one, so I say leave it,
Right.
that one we need to leave in there, yeah.
And then this one I had marked question because I didn't know on the Calvert City new well field.
I don't. what do
The
we-
city is considering identifying and purchasing a new well field,
What's the number?
Next one down, 39,
039.
039. Are we?
That was my question.
Did we talk about that at one meeting out near the drive-in, the possibility of there being a well?
Right.
Okay.
I mean, that was put in originally in 2005. And it was updated in 2019.
I don't think I was here. That's 18 years ago. Dan, you would be the only one here that needed that
I
discussion.
wasn't here. I didn't move into.
I'm gonna say,
So.
I'm gonna say that
I
that
wasn't on the
was,
board until 10.
and I'm gonna say that that's where. Because that would have been 2005, that would have been the time when Mr. Murphy was here.
Okay.
And I think he had some. He was looking at what I was talking about earlier or earlier on about water out in that direction too. So I think we should leave it on the book.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I don't think we need to take it off. The only thing that I would have thought that we might have done differently, we bought the Martin place.
Right,
And then we built it up, we dug that other well
right,
back there on their place.
right,
So we expanded
right.
that
And I didn't know
area.
That was, if that was not it.
I don't know either. I don't recall talking to Roger about anything about a
Right.
new field other than upgrading the existing field that we've got.
Let me
you
pick
know.
That's the
Roger's
only
brain on
conversation I can recall.
Was that other, is that pulled from the same? What do you call that thing?
Aquifer.
Uh-huh.
Does that pull from, so if you went out on 95, it's the same aquifer?
No, no.
It would be an entirely different.
Yeah, that would be.
Well field, it'd be entirely different.
Something
supply
like
of
we got about an
water.
earthquake or something, if it affected one, you might have the other one that you could.
Yeah, and then what about water quality?
You'd have to do a lot of
Water-
testing and
We'd
see
have
what
to-
you.
Well, and if you look at these numbers, I see 100 and 200,000. I think it's all about.
Right.
Just having.
Testing and starting to look and
Yeah.
seeing if
Right.
exactly your point. Is the water worth pursuing? Could we make it?
Right.
could we
I think we
meet the
need to
standard?
leave that one on right now and
Yeah,
pursue it.
Having a backup or.
Tim, I
thinking
think
about
you're
a
right.
backup
Talk
is
to
different.
Roger about that, because I think he would know more about that.
Right.
Is it land? We don't own the land. We're talking about it. Yeah. So you got a lot of issues.
You know.
We certainly have made progress on the wheel field we have behind the March place. Using some. of
The
that
next
space.
project down, that 57040. The $100,000 city plans for comprehensive water line evaluation. We can leave it or we can take it off. We do
Do we do any of that?
we do that. It,
I think leave it,
we do it as projects proceed,
right,
we're doing it. We're doing it at that time.
but if at some point you
Right.
decided. It needs to be a part of
Right.
the program.
We can update that one.
Well, I mean, and that's what I'm saying is if you decide. This isn't getting it done, in other words, we're not maintaining what we got.
Right,
Through just hitting other projects and doing it and. I would leave it in there, and then if you thought at some point this is really a weakness in our system.
right,
Let's write up something.
Right.
On a bigger level. more
If
than
we were going
100,000.
to, if we were going to rework the main all the way to the tower. That would fall under that.
yes.
that
Sir.
type
There you
of
go.
thing,
So-
right?
No, sir.
You could plug this in, you're saying about it,
Right.
right?
I mean, there's no designated, it's
Yeah.
within the system. I
Right.
mean, anywhere within the system.
Well, and let's go back to the leak that helped us kind of define where we are now.
Right.
Is there anything there that came out of that would hit under this or that would need more than this?
Right.
You
I
know,
mean, if it was.
I know you're already working on that, kind of the plan we have is kind of
Right.
addressing some of that, but
I guess if, Tim, if we, if the monies was available, it would also apply towards changing that, putting a 16-inch line replacing that 12-inch line to
Yes,
16-inch line to the plant, right? Too, that would be in
Right.
that as well.
We just update that one.
Right. I'm just
Well,
gonna
and
update it.
that's,
What I'm thinking about, when you get, we need, I don't know that committee, it probably who was to know a little bit more about that group that are making these decisions.
the pad group.
But sometimes, they're gonna try to spread that around. They're gonna
Right.
try, they're gonna try to do
They
as
have
much
to.
as they can to spread it around. And sometimes, it may be, well, no, we got to give this $200,000 deal, and that'll have to make them happy, but we might have got 500,000.
You're right.
So, I mean,
It's okay to dream.
that's probably an open.
If we had the money-
It ought to be a little better.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean,
And so Tim, what we've done every year is about this time of year, March or April here, these subcommittees, water. Meet with two of us and then the person meets with two of us for sewer. We want you, what if you had $1 million?
right,
This is a place we
right,
write it up and we put it in here.
right.
So what, 500, $600,000.
Yeah.
If you had that, what would you take care of? What would be something you would
Right.
address? And so to me, and if that would be a place to write up some things to throw in here. And again, I know you're out there working every day on the field. So this is where a manager, I would hope that can dedicate all the time to this, it needs to write up something. like that.
It may not work that way, but it would be nice if they said, this is what we think, we're gonna give to y'all. And would you prioritize? It'd be nice if you had a way to, I don't know how that works.
I have no idea, I have no idea how.
Maybe we ought to know a little bit more about it and.
But it is kind of ad hoc, you think about it. I
But,
mean,
Ted's got a
COVID,
lot of people he represents. I don't represent anybody but Calvin.
right?
So. That's probably a public meeting. I'd suggest that some of us would. If it's just figure it out,
Right,
because. At the end of the day, relationships matter.
Big time.
And whether it's a state or federal or anything else. And so it may be worth our effort. Get Barry, we can run over there.
Barry
I
can
mean,
probably talk the talk.
Not to represent the city, just to sit in the meeting.
Yeah,
If it's
Right.
if it's appropriate. I don't want to go.
Well, and the other side of that is. In case they ask, well, yeah, here's the priorities for Calvert, if you.
Well, that shouldn't come from us just visiting, but it'd be
Yeah.
nice to be a little more familiar with that system.
What do you think how many towns are in the purchase area?
Yeah.
That all have their wish list and
Well,
whoever shows up might be the one that.
Calvert's kind of unique in terms of our infrastructure out here, that kind of makes us a little different. Not everybody has an industrial chemical complex within their city limits. So we have some
That
unique things
employs
about us.
people from the entire
The
region.
whole region,
And so how you package that, but that line is Dan's recommend. Getting that line out there and taking care of that industry doesn't just benefit Calvert.
no,
That's a regional
right,
thing.
keeps
for us
those
to do.
companies running.
But see, I don't know that anybody else but us is gonna say that. Kids.
No, they're gonna come here saying, they're gonna
come.
come here saying that Calvert's got all that money from those plants, so they don't need any grant money.
There's there probably is some of that, but that, again, a good way to come back on that is, that's the true thing, and we're thankful for it. But I bet you got guys in your county work for the plants.
Right.
And they
Everybody
pay their
else in Ballard
taxes in that
County.
county and they buy
Everybody
their
else in
cars in
Cracken
that county. So this is a regional thing, but you're right, Dan, and we're bad about that in West Kentucky. We're bad about
Yeah.
still thinking to little local communities, and we don't toot the horn about, you got 2,000 guys down there, they don't all live there.
No.
If they did, Calvert City would have a population a lot bigger.
Yeah.
So I think you compete by county and then you compete by cities in the county. We're competing still against Hardin, Benton and.
Yes,
So
we are.
it just a thought.
What
I'd
about
like to
that
know a
meter
little more about how
replacement,
the
Tim?
process.
I think we're competing against fiscal court more than we are, maybe bid council in terms of sometimes for money like that, but fiscal court.
Next.
What about that, meter replacement? Is that,
Me and Chad talked about that and it's ongoing. We're gonna leave that in there.
Okay.
because it's not 100% complete. And who's to say? Will it?
Was that our meter replacement program that we
Right.
borrowed the money for
Right.
the meters?
And it will, we can leave it in there because as long as we have meters, there's gonna always be meter replacement.
Yeah,
And upgrades.
Right.
yeah.
So we're gonna,
Technological advances.
we're gonna leave that project.
What about, this is on page 2 of 3, and again, it's water. The second one, 035. Create an emergency backup to the North Marshall Water District on 282.
We said we were gonna that's partially completed and we're gonna update that. What we
Oh, I
said.
thought that was the next one.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We've done it, didn't we? We've got a backup.
We do on this end of the system. We're looking at making another tie-in.
Down off of Eversole area.
Right.
So you're saying this one hasn't been done yet?
Right.
Okay.
And we're gonna leave it.
Yeah.
Now, then the next one was partially completed.
Right.
No, the Cypress Creek main.
Yeah. Isn't that what you said, Tim?
Yes.
Okay,
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I
but
missed.
you're still looking at that one. Well, good. Okay.
Does North Marshall have they applied for this too? This where we
Yes,
tie in,
yes.
okay, okay.
Yes.
I thought it might
We
be
know the
better
guy
if we
over
had two people.
Charge that one.
Oh. According to Roger, there is a place that we can tie on and get water. When we were having trouble with, he said that there was a place that we could have tied on when we had that big leak and we were
Tied on the North
Right.
Marshall.
trying to. He
We're
could
tied on.
have supplemented us with a few
Right.
gallons. few
Right.
hundred.
We're tied on to North Marshall now. And we're tied on to Paducah.
And that works both ways, right?
Right.
How does that work, Tim? I mean, if we get, is that just freebies to each other?
No,
or is-
we're metered. We've got a meter on
Got it.
both ends of the system.
So if you get
And-
water for them, you're gonna pay for it.
The way this, it is out here with North Marshall is there's an in-ground booster pump station that's in the ground, right out here in front of Speedway
Yeah,
truck terminal or truck plaza. And the way that the piping and all was put in, the way the valving and all was done was any booster pump station is made to flow water one direction. Well, it is, but it's not. We can feed the inlet in the way that it was piped in and valved in. We can feed the inlet in of the booster pump station from either direction. North Marshall can feed the inlet in, or Calvert can feed the inlet in. And we can boost water either direction. Before the last improvements that North Marshall has made, about 350 gallon a minute is what they could give us. We could give them more than that. They've done a lot of improvements. And I don't know. I really don't know. And that we was talking earlier today in the meeting earlier today, Paducah end, I don't know. Because at that time, about 150 gallon a minute is all that we could get from Paducah.
Right.
But that's when the pumps were, that was coming straight off of the Reedland water treatment plant.
Okay.
It was still Paducah water, but they were still using the treatment plant at Reedland, where now they're not. It's all coming out of Paducah. And they put in a big booster station, just like what we've got at our facility. And they're boosting water all the way up here. We don't know, I don't know what they can give us now. That's something that I need to put on my list to do.
Yeah.
Is
Do a
to,
test run or something.
right,
That'd be great.
on both of them
Yeah.
and see what,
May need them one of these
Right.
days.
see what
And
I
they
can
might-
give
and they
them
want-
and what they can give
That's
me.
exactly. They might want to know what you have help them someday.
we stay. There's so many regulations that goes along with that,
Uh-huh.
and I just have to look at. I have to look at their water quality and they have to look at my water quality
Yeah.
to see whether we even want to
Yeah.
open the valve.
Yeah. Because the way you treat our
Because-
water might be totally different from the way they treat theirs.
I'm not picking on anybody, but just say if if Paducah or North Marshall, either one, had a hit on anything in any of their tests on their water. Okay, if I open that valve and if I purchase 1 gallon of water from another facility, then it throws me into a lot of the same state regulations that they are under because of a hit on a
Violation.
certain.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're gonna
it can
be-
change your water testing
you're
Right.
gonna be
for
putting
several years.
their
So you have to,
problem they got
you have
in
to
there.
kind of try to watch
I
it
totally
and see
understand what you're
what
saying.
their water is doing.
So you may
I
just
mean, if you
wanna,
have to, you have to.
that's what I was gonna say, you may just want to breach this when you have to have it, right?
I mean,
I understand.
you gotta watch their water. And I mean, their water quality is fine, but it's just some little glitch that happened that the state is making them test for because of something. Well, if you buy water from them for so
Gotta
many
start
years,
testing.
you have to do it.
Gotcha.
A one time would not,
Nope.
it's,
If they're having to test their waters, if they are having to. At that time, test their water system for. Whatever. If you buy water from them, then when I do my MOR and I have to fill out a form on. Who I bought water from and how many gallons and all, it will come up. On your CCR.
so right now, they're testing for potential hazardous water coming down the Ohio River.
That's
What you're
right.
saying, if I understand what you're saying is if we get water from them, that
Could throw us under the same regulations that they're under.
they're gonna, we'd have to start testing for that same hazardous chemical that's in the water coming down the Ohio River.
The way I understand it.
I've read about it a little bit, so it's not necessarily dangerous to humans, but it does have a fruity smell to it. This chemical mixed in water, that there's some definite characteristics of it. We certainly saw some dead fish pictures. Hopefully those were accurate.
He said they
people
were
pull up
taking-
pictures on the internet.
Paducah guy says they're taking 200 samples a day. That's a lot of samples.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
8 an hour.
Right.
Be more than that, wouldn't it? Just a
would.
mathematician,
It would.
I guess, I guess they're doing it maybe over 24 hours. I don't
Maybe,
know.
yeah, I was gonna say if it's over 24, maybe about 9 an hour.
Whoa.
8, 9, yeah.
So, okay, all right, so we're gonna update the.
On the next page,
Later,
underwater, which would be 57,042. I'm gonna update that one. And leave it for the media in our filters. I mean, we need to add some media right now, and if we're going to stay where we're at, we're gonna end up having to change the media in our filters.
when you say media, what?
What's that mean?
Our filter media. We have our filter beds at our plant on our raw water. You've got gravel in the bottom, then you've got sand, then you've got what they call a mixed media. It's in layers. We've got anthracite on the top, and we need to add some media. I mean, over years, And two, the last time we had it checked, it's been several years since we had it checked, and all the core samples came out good. What you look at on your media is you want jagged edges. Jagged edges is what catches anything that's in your water. If it's smooth, the water's gonna pass right on through. It's not gonna catch anything. Or if it's got jagged edges on it, as its water's flowing through it, it's gonna grab a hold of it. And all of our media tested good. Like I said, we're due to test it again, but we do need to add some media. I mean, you lose your anthracite over
It
years
just doesn't.
of
filter as well.
backwashing and so, I mean, we need to add some media.
Is there a screen in the bottom?
Yes,
Yeah, and they bust.
right,
Yeah, and let it out. so.
right.
Yeah.
But we're gonna leave that one
Okay.
for media purposes.
As we have 4 new filters, do we have those filters it mentions there?
Yes.
Okay.
And two, we could use this. We could use this if according which way we want to go with the water plant. I mean,
Yeah.
if we
Right.
want to bring a different train in of different type of filters to try pressure filters instead of the gravity filters that we have, we could use that in testing for our treatment process on our filters.
Okay, so PB Cloud, we've already got that one, right?
Right. It's in the works right now.
Mhm.
And the engineering is being revised on that,
Right.
right?
Right.
It's in the works. As far as the grant, we did receive it. Just where
Yes,
some
we
of our
did.
grant money's allotted.
Mhm.
We did, yeah. Mhm. It's right there on the board behind you.
Okay.
Check is.
No, that's
Oh.
not it.
That's not it?
No,
No, okay, that's
Yeah.
the plan in it. Yeah.
that's the two bottom ones.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wrong one.
The old 47. The next one down. We're gonna leave that one. Because, I mean, that's just for updates at the water plant. I mean, I know it's noted on here, Riverport line extension. But we can utilize that on the water on our upgrades on our pipe sizing coming out of the plant.
Okay. Okay.
The next one down,
Well, let's talk about it for a minute. 13,000, was it LF stand for? The comments on.
Linear feet, probably.
linear feet,
And so was that to take it down to the Riverport? I mean, was that part of that, why that grant says that 13,000?
yes,
But we're not taking that 13,000 to that, right?
no,
So we may have to rename that one.
Right.
Could we do that, modify
Right.
it?
we can update that, yes. The next one down,
Variable frequency drives, that's what we've
That's-
already done.
it's in the works right now too.
So that was part of, doing the well fields as part of the other two. That one's for
You know,
well
that one's
fields,
different
right?
than 180. The last one
I
is,
think
You're right, you're right.
This one hasn't been.
We're gonna update that one.
Okay,
okay.
The bottom one we're updating.
no.
The
7048.
048.
048, we're gonna update it.
That's for well fields
Right,
and the.
Then the
Grant
last
provided
two, we've
for
got
that
grants
there.
for both of those. Yeah.
the
That's a
last
good idea
two-
on that well fields, they get us out of some of that metering.
Right.
That's 3 phase.
Right. The last two are,
Is the check that
right,
adds up to the check.
Okay.
Chad. The 065 one. Chad suggested that we leave that on the books.
Which one? 65?
Right.
Okay.
He suggested, even though that a lot of it has been completed, but he suggested that we leave it on the books for the KI.
Okay.
When did we receive this check? Is it the one behind me?
We haven't received any yet. We're still in the process. Oh, this check? Back
No,
here?
I thought you said we'd received a check for the last two and.
This one,
45.
no, just the ceremonial check. We're in the process of getting this grant money.
Is it that grant money? Is that something else?
No, it's that exact
Okay.
amount, 487.79 is 300, 379, and 180.
Well,
That's
ceremonial.
That's
That
what
was
we
You
talked
hope to get
about.
money by when?
That's what we talked
We're
about
just
last.
in progress.
You
That's
what,
what
Dan?
we talked about last time.
Yeah,
about
I see that.
VFDs and all of that, so.
Tim, this is real helpful. Appreciate you walking us through some of this.
I haven't spent a whole lot of time on the wastewater part of it.
Well,
This
we
time?
can work on that another day.
I've done some of it, but I hadn't.
I'll look through it and if you have time, I'd love for you to go through it with us next time. Very much appreciated what you did.
Any of those, Tim, let's just run down the list right quick, if you don't care. Calvert City, AB Avenue and Beach Street sewer extension.
Don't, me and Chad talked about that one and, I mean, I think that is
That's over there by the plant, isn't it? And know where that is?
right. And all of that area, every bit of that area is in the floodplain.
Oh, okay, so that's the floodplain area.
And what me and Chad was talking about and was looking at maybe updating that one and changing it to low pressure sewer area. Putting in a low pressure pumping line and putting in the individual because it's showing 8-inch,
Yeah.
running 8-inch gravity. Well, we've got enough I&I.
You can't do 8-inch gravity
Right.
in a flat plane.
Right.
can you?
I mean, it's not going, it.
What
We're
do you
we're looking at a low pressure
Yeah.
and with the money that we've got in there at 247,000
Right.
in that area with that amount of money, you could put in a individual home lift station and fund it, but it would be their lift station to maintain. But it's putting sewer in the area, but it's eliminating our I&I because it's a completely closed system.
Is my understanding of this. Being in the floodplain, you don't want to see your sump pump go under water and just be continually pumping flood water
Right.
into your system.
Right.
Would there be a way to put it in something that was elevated? I mean, build a wall around it that was above I know the flood water in 12 got up to right at the edge of those houses going
Right.
in the houses.
Right.
And would that eliminate the,
Yes, I mean, because those basins, you can get them with or you can buy them. And I mean, we could include that it's a basin extension.
Yes.
To where it raises up the top of them up. to where it would be above floodplain.
Of course, if it went in their houses,
Right,
you'd have the same problem.
right. But you're sitting there with a gravity sewer line with a manhole. And
It would be catching all
It'd be
Flood
every
flooded.
bit, when it goes underwater, it's underwater.
Yeah. It's not much you can do about that.
And it's going right in your sewer system and it's going right to the sewer plant for us to,
To
deal with.
Yeah, you'd have that.
That'd be bad though, that'd really be a bad.
What
Yeah.
about the phase 2 Colorado sewer street services?
I've got to get with Roger on all of those on all of that over there on Colorado Street.
Okay,
I don't know what.
what he had in mind or
Right,
anything? there?
I don't, and I'm not, I don't want to, I don't know why, I mean, I do know why it was put on there, but. I'd rather talk to Roger about that. That was during his,
Okay,
uh,
sewers on 95 and Kentucky 282.
Is that Avenue A, is that just across the railroad tracks, kind of right behind our water basins over
Right.
there? Yeah. That's Avenue A. I don't know where Avenue B is. Oh, I see Beach Street. I see Avenue D. Okay,
that next one,
so those are all just right there. Okay, go ahead.
that next one that Dan was talking about, that 006, the sewers on 95 and 282. I think they've got in here, that would be a pressure. That would be a pressure system to take their waste like from their offices and down towards the plant area.
Yeah, that's from PVC and Degussa out there right after you go past the lumber company, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, okay. So
What are they doing now with that? Do they have septic tanks or something?
Yes. Well, some of those. Some of those. I mean, I don't know about. The ones that it's naming in here, but I mean, a lot of
Ashland,
those
I think so.
has their own,
Ashland has their own,
Ashland's on some septic system and some does get up through
right,
Waste Street.
right?
and our products.
I don't know, Tim.
I-
Familiar with
Yeah, I
those.
thought these plants over in that area fed into our products, do they not? Or is that just the industrial stuff?
I'm pretty sure, that Ashland, unless they've made a change, in my time being gone, you're on septic systems and then some of it does go, is pumped in through the waste treatment.
I'm not
plant.
so sure Gene didn't say he was on septic system.
He is.
That's what he said recently too, when we were together. So, okay, that one we just probably need to update or
Right.
look at it as well. Okay. we
That next
talked
one
about
is the
City
one I'm
of
talking about,
Benton,
it's not
yeah,
our project.
wastewater plant upgrade,
Right.
that's a lot of money there, 92 million.
That, I think that was that regional,
Oh, that's what that was.
that was on that.
Industrial.
Industrial,
Gotcha.
Yeah. That one.
I think that's right.
Probably could
So I seen
Fine,
that amount,
industrial and domestic, third line.
That probably could be removed.
delete it off.
Yeah, I would
That probably
say,
goes back to when Ashland put in their new, because I remember them talking about having a regional for all the plants.
Right.
Which I don't know how that would have worked, but it would, I remember it being. brought up.
I think that would be took off.
I think it could be. Because those plants are not ever gonna go regional in spite of it.
We had,
Could have supported that.
we had Hudson. Mary Beth Hudson, who was the plant manager, and she could organize
That,
those people,
She
the
left,
managers.
she left before that got done and I think that pulled the plug on it as part of it.
Didn't have anybody to pick
This
up.
would, that would go back to about 2007, 8.
No,
Isn't it? Not
it's
that
more
long.
recent than that.
Okay,
When is more, because I was involved, I went with Roger to a lot of those meetings, so. Yeah,
That would have been something to pull off the state should have really got.
Roger was pulling that, was
Yeah.
pushing that. That was
Right.
what he, I mean, he wasn't. Lynn was pushing it, but Roger was heading it up for him is what it was.
One thing we learned,
But actually, I think it already had theirs in there, or their new one was under construction, one or the other.
Refreshing my memory a little bit, I think Ashland maybe looked at doing, when we built our new one, of everybody going in.
They tried to do
Yeah.
that original.
Yeah,
too.
and that's the reason I'm
Yeah.
going back to 2017.
oh, is that right? 2000 when? When did they try to get everybody in?
It was just floated out there. I don't know how serious it was, but probably 2007.
One thing Roger or Gene has said, whenever you're trying to pull together the different chemical plants, they're all competitors. They don't really like providing any information individually about their plants, even water usage. And, you know, sewage, they don't really want to share. It's really difficult to get them.
Well, and one thing you
Commit.
get into is if you have several people going into a system, they probably won't be as particular about what they put in there as if it's their system.
Bet
And-
you're right.
Yeah, and then you get the liability of it, which
Yeah.
is their whose
Yeah.
liability. is it
Exactly,
in the
yeah.
regional
We didn't do it.
Yes, it was very interesting to sit in on those meetings and hear the.
And you know, and in the end, you kind of understand, you're dealing with millions and millions of dollars.
Yes.
It's not small change. It's something.
And also
worst
at
case
that
scenario is
too
very
was
similar.
right after
Any plant that wanted to locate. that would've been
Air
something.
Products and Ebonics saw that as a big competition to them.
Yeah.
Taking them
Yeah.
out.
Because they were servicing,
Yeah, they were servicing all the
exactly, and that
plants.
was another.
Yeah, a lot of the plants in their.
Kind of
complex.
sabotaged it from the start. You got,
Oh,
it would have been
yeah,
something, you know, you could, if early years here, we might have been able to pull.
Okay,
something off.
Riley Circle, Tim, you gonna leave that in there maybe, you think, or? is-
Yes. We're gonna update it. The just will get an update on it.
Okay, phase 2 sewer rehab, is it? Some of this that we gotta do after we get the sewer plant done?
Yes,
Or is part of that already done?
I don't know,
Part
it
of it's
says
already
fully
done.
funded, so.
yeah, that was, I'm sorry. I was
That
looking
one
at the
is
wrong
fully
one.
done.
That is completed. We're gonna take that one out. On the old 24. That was fully funded and it's already been completed
Okay.
and it's done.
Okay.
The old 25, the next one down. The phase 3 sewer rehab.
Inflow and infiltration issues within the. Collection.
We're gonna
system.
leave it.
Yeah, that would be after we get the
Right.
plant going, we still gotta
Right.
do some of that, so, yeah.
We're
that would
gonna,
be
we're gonna
updated.
update that one.
Okay.
The next two, the 27 and the 28. I'm gonna leave. Because I mean, that's. Like I said, we're looking at some grinder pumps for, I mean, if we can get the funding. There, I mean. We've got.
Where would be an area you do that right now?
Right now, you've got all like out in part of Colorado.
Okay.
Out in by Ralph Hard's, they're in the city limits and they have no city sewer. And have never had no city sewer. And have paid city taxes for years and years and years. And there's the way that the ground rolls and lays.
Just needs a special solution.
Right, you cannot, without going to a low pressure sewer system out there, they're not gonna get to it.
Yep.
But I mean, your sewer mains would be 40 foot in the ground to get it to work. Well, that's,
Yeah,
very expensive. So I'm gonna leave those in there.
That Riverport sewer line extension would be the town right there at the pump station. At me and going down Darkow Road, right? Is that what that is?
The way I see it, yes,
Because it says partially funded.
right.
Yeah, I would say that's what that is. I know we always left that in there in case somebody went in at the
Right,
down below.
right.
On past me down around McFarland and in that area.
Because I mean, part of it is completed, part of it was complete. But not the entire project.
So I think we probably ought to leave that one.
I'm
on
gonna
there.
leave it.
Yeah,
So at this point, Riverport didn't happen, but you're saying just speculatively having some infrastructure in some places like that
Right.
might attract.
yeah, if somebody comes in there and wants to do something down on the river.
Then we've got, hey, we've got
I
this.
mean, we
available
had
to you.
Peanut and those guys were trying to develop it and they never.
Yeah.
It wasn't being developed by the right people or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
The next one. Me and Chad talked about it and we first thought about. Leaving it, but. We can't. Because it was partially funded. And a lot of that was. I mean, it's completed. We thought about leaving it for. In there for. With the state park expansion. But we've decided to just take it out. And when we see, we'll submit a new. one.
Okay.
He said that he thought it would be better to take it out. The next one, the 7036. We're gonna leave it. And then the last one on that page, it's ongoing as we speak. So. I'm not gonna touch it right now.
Right. So- Did we anywhere in here, Tim? Me and you and Silas went out to Cypress Lakes and looked at running that line off
Right.
of 62 and down behind those
Right.
trailers. Is that in any of this?
No, it would, that's one that we need to add to it.
Okay.
Are you talking about getting the lines out from under the trailers?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Around Cypress Lakes.
Yeah, we could town to the line there at 62 and then come down and go down to where actually Don Mike lived or in that area in town to sewer down there or something.
Right.
I believe is what y'all told me, and then that would get all of the water and sewer out from under those trailers.
Right.
That are in there on that back side of that.
And if y'all got the capital water plan, if y'all got a copy of it with you,
I don't have it with me.
Yeah, I know with.
I've been trying to go through it and using this with this and then trying to look at it and see which one we really need to focus on the most right now. In my opinion. And we are working on it right now, but we need to keep it on, in my opinion, the top of the list if we can, until it is complete. And that is the SCADA system, radio and PLC upgrade. We're working on it and I want I really want to keep that on the top of the list as far as on our capital plan,
For next year.
right?
Yep.
Until we get it completed. I mean, we'll work on. And I mean, there's some items that's on here that are completed. That, I mean, I don't know how often this is updated. Because
It's supposed to be every year, but
Yeah.
but
Oh.
we've kind of been in the
I
flux a
know.
little
I
bit.
mean, if you just tell me what to do.
Okay. me and Glenda will.
I think that, is that the 5-year plan or whatever? or is
Yes,
that-
yes,
Okay,
it is.
yeah.
It's on the 5-year plan.
What's the 5 years?
2001 through 25 is what I've got on my,
21 to
I think
25.
Roger did that one before.
right. he
Roger
did.
did that. I think that was the last one Roger did.
He done
Okay.
one on the water and the wastewater.
Yeah, and then I don't think we
We haven't addressed it.
didn't do anything with it for the 22-year budget. year,
No.
I don't think.
No.
No. So yes, we need to look at those.
I mean, you know, like I said, there's some on there that we need,
And
you
then
know,
that will tell us what we need to budget.
right,
Now we need the budget.
right. I mean, the same way on the wastewater side of it, there's a bunch of it on there that's been completed
Yeah.
and we need to,
Need to look at that.
the first one on there that was on there was the Trimac lift station rehab. That's
We did
complete.
That's
It's
done,
done.
yeah.
So it needs to come off.
We'll just have to sit down on it.
Right.
We can update that.
Yeah,
I mean-
and just come back with us, just kind of summarize what you figured out. And when you're ready, Dan, to
Just one day that,
Just holler.
talk about next year and how to fund it.
one day that, I mean, we'll have to do it before too long, but. We need to sit
Yeah,
down
we
and
need to
look
look
at
at that, yeah. Whenever you and Glenda's got a minute, if I can work it in, I'll be there. I'll come have to sit with you and see what we can do.
Because guys, this is all new to me. I'm telling you.
Yeah, we understand. Appreciate your efforts.
Good job, Tim. Thanks for running through that with us. I think that gives us a better understanding and. Like Steve said, I don't know what happens when it goes to the pad office. I don't know anything about that. I do know that Silas was. Attending some of those meetings, but when they would have. Them, but I don't know. The process anymore.
Steve, have you got Chad McCann? Have you got his number? Have you got any contact? He would be Chad. Our engineer. He knows how. All of that stuff works over. I don't know. He would be more than happy to share that with you. And I mean, one day, I mean, I can get him up here or,
Yeah, I mean, I'd be glad to, I'd like to know who, how that group is comprised and what the process is.
Have you looked at the website at all? Remember, we got these off the website. And that may not be helpful, but at least, you could access.
let
these.
me talk to Chad on that, Steve.
All right.
And
Yeah,
he knows how all that stuff works. I don't.
Those 4 river counties down there are hard to compete against.
Right.
They've got some. They got some real need, but they got some real leverage even with that. That, what is it, that Mississippi River money that comes through the pad every year, but. Relationships just means a whole lot with that stuff. If we know
Most certainly.
how to couch it better, that's part of getting their attention and not.
Well, let me throw this out in general, just like we said, they're all competitive out of the plant area. One of the things, we might dream about is doing some matching fund where we kind of approach, some Ashlands or Westlakes and say, we would really, Pad has some money sometimes, but it would really be great if y'all would, put together some money here that we could both help improve, especially when we're looking at projects that are going out to chemical plants. I want to, as we've said, I'm all about capacity. Let's keep building capacity to let them take advantage of us building a better, more reliable
Right.
system that works. And so when we start talking in those terms, to me, it seems like you gotta, and Gene's probably got to do it, but just an argument with them. Man, we need your support on this. And if we could get some matching funds through Pat or something and just parlay it together, then we could put together $1 million pretty quick, I think.
I think there's two issues that.
Yeah, you have the experience more
I
on
don't
this.
want to lose. It was the issue. We wanted to make sure the plant saw us as a reliable
Mm.
provider of that water.
Right,
And so that may involve that line that we
Right.
talked about
Right.
earlier. And the other thing is, when you're not in an emergency, it's easy to forget that what we learned when we had a leak.
right,
You get past that and somehow it's just natural. It's
Right.
all of it's a wire.
right.
You just kind of let your mind drift off of it, but those two issues alone. I think there ought to be some vision that drives what we're trying to decide, and everything works together toward that broader vision, and certainly making those plants feel comfortable that we are reliable in providing the water based on some of the comments that Michael had made, So I don't want to lose sight of that stuff, because Lord knows that this time, 10 years now, somebody will be wrestling up here.
Right.
Probably won't be me, but somebody will be wrestling with all the needs that are out there, because they won't go away, but
Right.
those primary issues just got a return on investment. Is something to really kind of look at. I was looking at that, with those plants in a sewer, sewer's 2.5 times our water. If they're still interested, that might be something Pat don't want to fund. It's $200,000. We might want to find a way to fund that, because you're gonna get your money back.
Right.
So,
Good investment,
yeah.
or even if a loan. Or the
Yeah, so I
state or
mean,
something.
if they're willing to do that. and we
Because
can
then we
maybe
could start paying that loan with money. Yes.
But any of those plants, somewhere else.
Yep.
And we just think.
Or they'll build it themselves. I mean,
Yeah.
septic tanks, they built them themselves. Because they can rely on them, I guess. You gotta think about that. And we be reliable.
Make sure we're adequately, if our booster station and those high pressure pumps, we've got that where we're comfortable with that. With the new line under the
Right.
creek there, so I mean, if we're comfortable with that, then that's good, but we'll make sure we don't forget those things.
Right.
Well, some of that's going on right now. I can't speak to it, but it's going on right
Okay. We do.
now. So on the project update, like we said, O'Reilly's line repair on US 62, that was bid today. We've got the bids. They have not yet been evaluated, but they were within budget numbers that we had there. The thing that Tim and I was talking about just now was O'Reilly's got missed in the budget. So with some of these grants that we got, and we had that 600,000 in the budget, didn't know exactly how we was gonna pay for it.
Right.
And that's covered in some of this. You think we can
Hopefully we can
work that into the budget so that we can
work it in
proceed this on or not? So,
when we need to do it.
What is the bid? I mean, I can't remember the numbers we're talking about.
Well, I think we need to, if any way possible, like we talked about before, while we've got everybody on board,
we need to do
And
it.
it's been such an ordeal getting.
right,
legal
because it's
part
been,
complete.
I mean, we've been a year.
Yeah.
Yes, it's been going on a while.
So
And
It's actually
right
been
now,
2 years,
everybody's
I
on
think.
board, and
Yeah.
so if we can, any way possible, do it. I think we need to proceed.
Now, was this bid, Tim, did it get us all the way through the whole project, or was it just the first leg of it to
The
get
first leg of it, that's gonna get you underneath of,
you
we're-
under the pipe?
that's gonna get you underneath all the gas lines. That's gonna get
But
you
it's not
underneath. all
gonna
that.
get it out of
Right.
the parking lot of the
Right.
liquor store.
Right.
But we can work on that
Right.
in another
In another phase,
phase. Okay, well, this is, we'll say phase 1. So,
right,
okay, so we need to proceed on that, so. Tim and Chad's got to evaluate the bids and everything, but everything from what I've heard so far, is looking
Right.
very promising. It was less than 150,000, so.
Is that affected by any of that work that they're gonna do from 95 and down through the state's gonna do the turnarounds and all of that? I mean, I tried to look at that, and I'm not smart enough to figure it out, it didn't make much sense.
Well, it'll be in the right of way right along in front of O'Reilly's, and it comes down to the. And then turns and goes down that road beside the liquor store, between the liquor store and O'Reilly's, and. We'll come back in that direction, so.
You're talking about the pipes.
Mhm.
You're talking about the pipes.
Yeah,
You know, they're talking about 62. I mean, one proposal, they had 4. One was making it 5 lane. You know, it seems like that might get in some of our utilities.
We've we've done the state is aware of any utilities
Sure.
that,
So they've got that all worked in.
and if they have to be moved, that's on the state.
state moves them.
Got it.
When they
If
done
If
their,
they move them, does that solve any of our problems? So if they come in and decide to do that, what I'm getting at, and I apologize, it's probably a dumb question.
from what I was seeing on any of their drawings, this end really wasn't gonna be affected.
Okay.
The other end will,
Getting up there near.
It's
but,
up there.
KFC,
Most
yeah.
of it they were talking about is up there, but along Valley Road.
right. And all of the lines that we have in the ground up our water and sewer line. When they called to locate in, they were located multiple times. They mapped them into their project, so they are aware that they're there. So whichever way they decide to go,
They're ready to deal with it. Okay.
it's,
That's good.
It's on them.
it's on them. Everybody looks at things different. The bigger, the better.
So.
I mean, the wider they go up through there, the more new lines you're gonna get. So let them go as wide as they wanna go.
So,
It'll be a heck of a project.
County knows where some of them are at, don't they?
if not, they'll find them when they start digging.
Pretty quick.
Yeah, and PB Cloud's still in the engineering
It's in the
stages. We
engineering
talked
phase.
about that, and VFDs and the controls upgrade. I think Chad has got worked out with Greg on exactly how
Right.
we can buy those and be within the rules and regulations of city government and
Right.
so forth. So a lot of that is, I think, moving along very good, so. That covers the agenda. Anything else anybody got?
Barry, we have talked about your map. We did
Yes,
discuss
Yeah,
that.
Tim told me.
Chad,
Oh, okay.
Chad is having it printed up now.
Oh, okay. I didn't know we'd gone. Okay, yeah.
He's
It'd be
bringing,
helpful tonight, you know, when you're talking about where these projects are.
I'm having one done of the water system and of the sewer system.
Perfect.
And
Excellent.
we can bring them up here and leave them. We can put them up on the board when we're,
We could hang on.
Right.
Whatever.
right.
When I was at WKCTC, the College of Architecture UK was commissioned to do USEC and all their lands and their buildings and stuff. They had to make a 3D model. So we can find an engineering or an architecture school. That's what we need to do is take your maps and get them to do it 3D. Just bring an old model in. Let's just bring in Calvert City. Fill up this room with
Yeah, maybe we'd have to add on it.
it. That's right, we need Lego
But no, I
pieces.
did. Chad's having them
Next.
done now.
Good.
Thank you.
You're right.
I appreciate
Looking
that.
for a project.
Well, and
We
this,
use the project as a.
I've always said that, Barry, when I came on, I'd love a visual of this stuff, of what it looks like, and you know, I think it would also be, we could make it into something where you could actually communicate easily about it, something for our citizens to see, like with a Ameribration, just like we had our history of Calvert. is have a display or something. Because people
You
don't
don't
get
want too
water
many
and sewer,
people
they
to know
just
where it
don't,
is, Bill.
they don't see it, do what?
This day and time, you don't want too many people to know where it is because they're liable to have Tim running from manhole to manhole to manhole.
You can't give too much.
So, I'm not sure we want to post it on the board.
Oh, man.
In your spare time, Tim.
Let's see,
Spare time, Tim, that's right.
let's see. You're okay?
I'm good, yeah.
You're good?
Everything I know.
You good? You good?
Fine.
All right, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Second.
Okay, Bill, motion adjourn, Barry second. All in favor, say aye.
Oh, man.
It was